This video is a message from Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Campbellsville, Kentucky. We hope you will be blessed by it.
We'll seek your face. We'll know that you'll answer our prayers. You'll give us what we ask. The church needs you, Lord, today and ever needs you. This morning, as I preach your word, just back me with your Holy Spirit. Give me the words to say and ask you. The ears to hear and apply to their lives. In your precious name. Like I said, just talking to the church, it says if. If's the biggest word in the dictionary. If this happens, if that happens. And throughout history, you look back at times that the church has stepped up. We studied history of our country. During the founding of our country, there was a lot of prayers, and because it was desperate times. People wanted a country, they wanted freedom, they wanted to be able to worship freedom like we do today, because they would come from places that couldn't do that. It was a very hard time, so they prayed. Throughout the ages, World War II, if you ever, I've been to the World War II Museum, and you look at it, there's no way we should have won. There's no way that Germany could be defeated. The churches got together and they unified and prayed. They were concerned because it was a time of need. We needed something. After 9/11, we said churches, the next Sunday, people were in church. People know. They know where they need to go. Christian people know. And I don't know what the percentage of people, Christians, are in this country. I looked this week and you get all over the place, anywhere from 17% to 66%, depending on what poll you look at. But if God's people says, if we will, the people that's called to his name will humble ourselves. We'll humble ourselves. Humility is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. We've got to humble ourselves. Come to God and say, God, we need you now. And this is serious times now for our, we're not talking, this scripture verse talking to us. It's not talking to the world. But there's people dying right now, this morning, as we sit here, dying and going to hell. And the church is not doing their job. We're not doing our job. We've got revival coming up here in September. And we need to be praying for that revival. We need to be concerned about it. But if we would unite now, if we would get on our knees and we would pray and we would say, God, I humbly come before you. I want revival to start today. It'll start. What would Rick Gaines think if he come into Tyler County? Revival was only taking place. You can just tag it on. We have the ability. God says if you will. We live in a busy world. We live in a world where there's so much going on, and we're so busy with our jobs and with our families and everything that's going on, and we've lost focus. We've lost focus. We're here. Every person put on this earth for a reason. We all have talents. We all have something to do. And I've said this over and over and over. We're all called to be soul winners. We all can pray. And I know I talk a lot about prayer, but that's the one thing we can do. And this verse tells us. Now, Nehemiah, I want to read, about Nehemiah, about how God, this demonstrates the power of God. This demonstrates what he can do. Because we think, I heard one guy say that this verse doesn't pertain to us. It's just pertaining to the Jews. And I've heard people say that they've heard preachers say that it's too late. It's never too late for God. Never too late. Right here this morning, if we just look at it, if get into scriptures and read it and see what God's done in the past, what he's done for people, and we go over to Nehemiah, I want to read some verses here of his prayer. Starting with verse 4. So it was when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned for many days. I was fasting and praying before God of heaven. And I said, I pray, Lord God of heaven, O great and awesome God, do you keep your covenant and your mercy to those who love you and observe your commandments. Please let your ear be attentive and your eye open, that you may hear the prayers of your servant which I pray before you now, day and night, for the children of Israel, your servant, and confess the sins of the children of Israel which have sinned against you. Now, we know Nehemiah, but he was king's cupbearer. He had a little clout. But he went before the king, and the king seen he was distraught. He seen he had problems, or something was on his mind. He said, "What's going on?" He said, I'm worried. I'm worried about my nation. I'm worried about my kinsmen. I'm worried about what's going on. Because in Israel, the walls had been breached. The gates was at least 10 gates. Some of them completely destroyed, burned, tore up. And he said, I've got to go and repair this. I've got to go and fix this. It's bothering me. It's on my mind. The king said, how long? He gave him a time. And he said, one other thing I need letters for other kingdoms I'm going through, for passage, and also for resources, for help in doing this. It was granted. So he goes. Now, they repaired these gates. Everybody come together because of one man's prayer. One man's prayer. Everybody come together. The certain kingdom had the timbers and the lumber, and others had the precious metals. Some of them was bronze and all that they put on it. And they built the gates back better than they were before. And they done it in 52 days. 52 days. Just think, we couldn't do that today with the equipment we got. But that's the power of the God we serve. And he tells us, if we will humble ourselves and pray and seek his face, seek my face, seek his presence. When you come up in the throne room of God, one thing you can be guaranteed that Satan can touch you. When you seek his presence, I've been guilty of it. We've all been guilty of it, saying a downscope prayer. We're going to get out of the rafters. We're in serious times. Serious times. We need to be concerned about people's souls. We need to be concerned about this community. Be concerned about this nation. We need to pray big. Be specific. Early as 20th century, Dallas Theological Seminary had a lot of financial trouble. It was so bad that they were going to close, or foreclose on that day. That morning, the men of the seminary got together, and there was a man there. I'm sure many of you have heard of him, named Harry Ironside. He was a great preacher, teacher, very unique man, had very unique prayers. He was there with them, and the president told his secretary, he said, we're going to go, we're going to pray. Nobody's to bother us. We're going to pray about this. So they go in their room and they're praying, and they all pray around. He comes to Harry, and he said, Lord, you know our situation. You know what we're facing. And you tell us, Lord, that you own the cattle on 1,000 hillsides. Now I ask you, would you sell some of them? Give us the money to help us. Let me shortly knock under the door. He goes over and he's a secretary. He said, I'm going to bother you. She said, yes. You want to hear this? Hands him a check for the money they need. She come in and she said, well, she had sat in my desk and said, this big Texan come in. And he said, well, he said, I just brought a train carload of cattle into town to sell for a business deal. The deal fell through, so here's the money for it. That's specific. That's big. One man said that prayer, and it was answered. And look at what the seminary's done since then. Pray big, pray specific. Expect God. Expect him to answer your prayer. If you ask for something, expect it. Don't be like a friend of mine told me, this is a true story. when he was a young child, or young boy. Full of meanness. He said there was an old country church down at their house. He said, we go down there and we play, him and his friend. So we could hear him preaching, the church was full, you know, a lot of times the windows is open, it was hot. He said the preacher said every little bit, he'd say, Gabriel, sound you home. Gabriel, sound you home. So he said, the mischievous kids we were, he said, my buddy played the trumpet. So he said, one Sunday morning we got down and we climbed up and after that old church and said we felt like we sat there for 2 weeks. He said they finally started coming in. Of course, had Sunday school. Finally, the preacher started preaching. He said about the third Gabriel sounded horn. He said he let all the people blow on that trumpet. There wasn't a window left in church. Everybody left. You know, he said, we didn't make it through because he said we had to sit up there the rest of the day because we didn't want anybody to see us come down. But if you pray, expect something to happen. Expect it. We all know people that are lost. We all know have friends and family, co-workers and coaches. I say this over and over and over, but we do. Pray for them, witness to them, talk to them, show them, tell them about Jesus Christ, because he said, if you'll pray and seek my face and turn from your wicked ways, this is where it might get a little touchy. He said, well, I'm not wicked. If we're not telling people about Jesus Christ, that's a wicked way. We've got to tell people. Because if we don't tell them, how they're going to hear it? The world's not going to tell them. The church has to do it. The Christian people have to do it. And I say churches need to unite. We need to pray for other churches. If they're preaching God, based, Bible, Scripture, Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation, we need to pray for them. Because in many churches, what we'll do is the church will start growing and we'll get jealous. That's weak. Well, you know, well, they're doing something wrong, you know. No, they're not. If they're preaching God saves the world and Jesus Christ is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, then they're doing what they need to be doing. We need to pray for them, because if we're not praying for them, Satan's going to come. He is coming out. I've seen too many churches, been involved in churches, they'll start growing and all of a sudden they'll come falling down because Satan will get in. Because we allow him in. But we need to pray for one another. We need to turn from our wicked ways. We need to look to God. We need to seek His face, seek His presence. There's so many people that are searching, that are hurting. You know, they're you know, unhappy. People that are unhappy, they don't know why. They can't find any fulfillment. They can't find anything in their life that'll satisfy that need. We have it. It's Jesus Christ. We have it. Tell them about it. What I do when I witness, I go to God and say, you know, this person here, every job I go on, there's somebody there that I haven't worked with, I'll ask them if they're a Christian. But I always ask God to set that up, to give me a time it's just the two of us. First and foremost, and I don't say something to embarrass him, but I can do it the right way, and that they'll be receptive. And it always happens. It always happens. I don't, you know, you get some strange responses, some strange answers. The last job I was on was a very proud, staunch atheist. We dealt with it. We talked, and he was firing questions and talking, belittling Christians, and talking about how stupid we were for believing what we believed. And Jesus was just a nutcase. The Bible was just, he said, a book of fairy tales that was made around a campfire. And any other time I'd have lost my cool, I'd have lost my temper. But all the time he was talking to me, I was, Lord, tell me what to say. Got me to keep my cool. Don't make me embarrassed. Well, finally, just about every day he'd come with a different question. And a lot of times his questions, he would mix it up a little bit. It wasn't exactly what the Scripture said. But finally, you know, I said, Lord, let me ask you some questions. You know, I want to ask him. No, you don't ask him anything right away. I want to ask him, you know, well, you believe it comes from nothing. That takes a whole lot more faith than it does come from what I believe. But God said, don't ask you. So one day I was busy. I was really involved in something. He came up and he asked a question. He said, what was Jesus' last words? And then when he led to, he said, well, you know, he said that it was, my God, why have you forsaken me? And he said, undermines your whole belief. Because right then he realized that he wasn't God, and that the God he served, that he claimed to serve, turned his back on him. And I said, okay, let me ask you some questions. I said, if Jesus was not who he said he was, we don't want to talk about Judas, but I said, if he was not who he said he was, I said, why did all his disciples die in a horrific death? And not one of the 11 denied Jesus. Well, he said, look at Joseph Smith, you know, people follow him, and the people that the Scientologists, you know, and I said, and another thing, I said, if the Bible is just a book of fairy tales, how come it was written over many centuries by many different men that didn't really know one another and it all follows a pattern? That stopped it right there. Now, I didn't ask him to work with him a few more days. We were good friends. We talked a lot. But that's all you got to say. Leave it at that. Get in tune with God. And I don't do it all the time. I'm as guilty as anybody in this room. I want to do it myself. And I used to want to go to people and witness to them and see them, you know, through the whole thing. Get them saved, get them baptized, and all. God said, no, man, just back up. You're in a position that you just plant the seed. Somebody else will water as long as God reaps the harvest. Harry Truman said, it's amazing what you can accomplish. You don't care who gets the credit. And that's what kind of attitude we need to have. Don't worry about what the church down the road is doing. If they're winning souls, you can be praying for them. Don't worry about how they're doing it. Just pray that what they're doing, and keep doing it, and we can learn from it and apply it to us. We need revival today more than ever. Throughout our country's history, we have faced so much adversity. We're facing more today than we've ever faced. But here is the promise. This is the promise. God said, then I will. He didn't say if, maybe, could be. He said, I will hear your prayers. He will hear. That's a promise. He promises that to us. And we you know, like I said, we don't pray. We don't go with God bold enough. Nehemiah, going back to him, this is how much confidence he had in God. Chapter 2, verse 20. I love this. It's one of my favorite things in the Bible. He said, because he had faced a couple of men that were, you know, tell, what are you doing? It's not going to work. What are you doing? You know, this is ridiculous. And he said, the God of heaven himself, specifically, will prosper us. That should be the verse that we all should have on our lips. If we go to him, he says, I will hear your prayers. I will hear your prayers. The God of heaven himself, that's specific. We know who he's talking about. Nobody can say, well, he was talking about God. This is God of heaven, the God that we're worshiping, the God that we serve. This is who he's talking about. He will prosper us. And I will forgive you. I will forgive their sins. I will forgive us. We talked about that in Sunday school. I mean, we was talking about David and all the sin that went in his life, and sometimes we just need to say, oh, you know, forgive me. We've got to forgive ourselves too. We've got to forgive ourselves. Because all throughout the scriptures, you know, I think about things I've done in the past, some bad things, and but God tells us, you know, I've never followed a plow behind a mule. Heard my daddy talk about it. But if you look behind you, you're going to have a crooked road. You've got to keep your eyes straight. Don't worry about what you've done. Worry about what you can do. If somebody brings up your past, you know, our air inside the quote. This may not be exactly, but he said, If people are talking about what you're doing, what you're doing is wrong, correct it. If you're not doing what they say, carry on and praise God, worship God, serve God. Don't worry about it. But he said, I will forgive you and I'll heal your land. Our land needs healing more today than it's ever needed. And the answer is right here in this church. It will start right here at Pleasant Hill. We humble ourselves. We get on our knees and pray to the God of heaven. Today, if you're here and you're lost, you're going to make a decision before you leave. A decision whether you accept Jesus or whether you don't accept it. You're going to make that decision. There's no better feeling to know that you have eternal security, that you have eternity that's secure in paradise. You know, in heaven, we're going to worship God continually. You know, so that's another thing the church needs. We need to worship. We need to practice it. Because when we get to heaven, that's what we're going to do. At this time, as our song leader come, turn back over to Dr. Jones. I thank you for this opportunity to preach. As you come back tonight, tonight is a little different. So,